In this book, Nancy and her friends go to a riverboat casino to play roulette. They are promptly arrested for underage gambling. I knew Nancy would be the culprit one day.
Argo Funk Book Review, Argo Funk Book Review.
I'm just kidding. The book's title is a lie. Nancy and her friends aren't playing roulette. They're actually in a charity poker tournament starring celebrity poker star Brett Garner. All the proceeds benefit the local animal shelter. Margot is in charge of the event, and she's a really mean person. Like certain YouTube book reviewers, she's not trying to be mean, she's just not good with people. She's better with animals because they're cute and fluffy. Margot throws a fit when she sees Joanne, who runs the rival animal shelter in town, and Margot says no when her assistant Catherine asks for time off to take care of her sick mother. In other words, there are suspects with motives. The event starts with Margot announcing they made over $100,000 cash. She locks the money in a safe, and Nancy's mystery senses are tingling. She's probably remembering Riverboat Ruse. Sure enough, the money is quickly stolen. Bess and her mom ask Nancy to solve the case. Margot is skeptical that a teenager can solve the mystery, but the Marvins confirm that Nancy solved lots of mysteries for big business owners, and she regularly works with the police. Just not in this series. Continuity! The casino has security cameras, so Nancy asks Captain Buddy to review the tapes. He confesses the security cameras don't work because that would make the book too short. The security cameras broke last week, and he never bothered to replace them because he's gonna sell the boat soon. Nancy breaks into the coat room in hopes of finding the money. It's not there, but she does find a letter showing Brett was fired from the Poker All-Stars. Brett also has a backpack large enough to hide all the stolen money, and he's guarding that backpack with his life. Again, there are suspects with motives. Joanne causes a scene when Andy the waiter spills water on her. Later on, they sneak below decks. Nancy follows them, and she almost gets caught. The two of them were secretly examining the engine rooms for unknown reasons. Nancy switches places with George in the poker tournament so she can keep an eye on Brett and Joanne. We learn all about poker here, like poker tells. Did you know if someone tells a lie, they absolutely have to move in a certain way? It's true. Joanne twirls her hair when she lies, and Nancy uses this to verify that Joanne doesn't need money. Also, Nancy bets all of her money on one turn, and she gets a royal flush, because she's awesome like that. I think James Bond did the same thing once. Nancy looks into Andy the waiter by finding his employee locker. It's locked with a combination dial, which Nancy opens by feel. She goes into great detail about safe cracking, and she mentions the various techniques and tips for different types of safes you encounter. It's a little surprising she knows so much about this. Maybe the author was a bank robber in a previous career. Inside the locker is Andy's phone, which explains that he took Joanne below decks to examine the engines because she's interested in buying the riverboat. The culprit pushes Catherine overboard. Captain Buddy throws her a life preserver, but she and the preserver go under several times before she's safe. After this, Nancy gets locked outside. She can't get back in, so I guess her lockpicking skills only apply to safes. She is forced to slowly climb over the paddle wheel to get back inside. Once she does, she marches straight to Brett and opens up his backpack because forget subtlety, this case is taking too long. Turns out that Brett is using a marked deck to cheat in the poker tournament. He is rightfully shamed. The girls discuss the case. The only incident that hasn't been accounted for yet is the murder attempt against Catherine. Nancy talks to Catherine, who rubs her neck. Whoa, that's a poker tell. Catherine must be lying about the murder attempt. It wasn't attempted murder at all. It was planned. See, Captain Buddy hid the money inside the life preserver. Catherine went overboard so he could throw her the life preserver and she could stash the money at the bottom of the river. I don't know why they made a big spectacle out of it instead of dumping the money overboard when no one was looking, but I don't care. It was a cool plot twist that the money was never in the safe to begin with. So Buddy and Catherine were working together the whole time. Margot has a change of heart and she decides to pay for their mom's operation, but they're still arrested because justice! The end. Post-book follow-up. Nancy is a competent detective in this book. She's great. She has multiple strategies for getting past people, she has techniques for dealing with culprits, and just general detective skills that she talks about. I liked it much better than, say, Book 12, where Nancy's reluctant and doesn't want to solve mysteries. She'd rather stay home and watch Netflix. That Nancy is not as fun. The author tried to impress my obsession with continuity by joking about how George hated Mystic Lake because they didn't have cell reception. Nice try! I remember the Mystic Lake trip. It was George's idea and she loved it. Bess was the one who hated Mystic Lake, and me. Continuity! The riverboat setting was interesting. It's a locked room case with a time limit because the boat is docking soon. Nancy's been on boats before, but it was a different enough angle that I didn't roll my eyes and go, geez, another boat book. I also liked how this is not a sabotage mystery like 11 of the 13 previous books. Thank goodness they changed things up. I would say the only part of the book that could be improved is the action scenes. I had a little trouble following what was going on during them, especially the sequence where Nancy climbs over the paddle boat. I could not visualize what was going on there. I also liked how the ending was basically a double-length chapter. The last Nancy Drew book I read had a 2-page ending that rushed everything and gave no resolution to things after the culprit was arrested. This was better. I liked having a longer ending. Overall, this is a good book written by a competent author who's trying to make a mystery that readers can solve themselves while still having a big plot twist at the end, and that was a success! I would not complain if the rest of the books in this series were in the same vein as this one. I give Nancy Drew Diaries number 14, Riverboat Roulette, a 10 out of 10.